Welcome to Superhuman Customs, everybody. I'm your host, Stephen Human, and today we're going to do a figure that McFarlane has done. So he's done the Kingdom Come Superman, but that Kingdom Come didn't have a raised S, and I want to have a raised S on my Kingdom Come Superman. So I got this version, what is it, the Russian version. It's from, I can't even remember the name of the comic right now. But I got this guy for super cheap at a local action figure event, and I've got this S right here from the cape of the David Cornsman Superman. And so we are gonna stick it right on this guy, and we're gonna make him a Kingdom Come Superman. This is gonna be a lot of fun, so let's get going. And we're soaking him in hot water so we can remove the cape and the S. So the cape and the S came off perfectly, as you can see, which is great because this S will fit right in here. It's gonna look great. And I did not like the cape. I don't care for the Rebirth cape. It's kind of small. So I'm trimming up this one so we can have a little bit more flowy cape. But what I'm having to do is I'm gonna cut in here and open up the neck a little bit so these can reach up a little bit more over his shoulder. So I'm just gonna do that and see where we're at so that this can look just better, because right now it doesn't come down far enough. So, all right, before I get to the blue on the suit and stuff, I actually want to do the S, just because it's more technical than the rest, and it's nice when you get it done. And then the painting the body blue is going to be nice and quick. So this way I can get this done. Now what I found is you want to move the paint around, especially here in the black, so that it's not blotchy. Because black can get blotchy easier than others, I found, because it's harder to see until it's dry. So I like to make sure that I move it around. And I've learned to put it on first before the red, because in spreading it like this, it kind of gets it everywhere and you need to paint over it. But works out pretty well when you do that. So I'm gonna finish this up, and then we will move on to the red. And now let's get the red. Do long strokes, get it spread around. Make sure to let the paint guide and not the bristles. And you can get right up to the edge, nice and crisp. And while we got the red out, let's go ahead and do his trunks. I'm gonna start with the same small brush and get these details. Now I'm gonna get a wider brush to get the rest, so it'll go a little bit faster. Honestly, I was about to move on when I remembered that I gotta paint his boots too. This guy's got a lot of red stuff that needs to be done. As always, after doing the red, we got to do our model air red. Do it over the top, evens everything out. And we'll do that here on the trunks, on the S, and on the boots. We might even have to do a little bit on the cape, because the cape is not quite matching. But this goes on so nice and thin that we can probably just do it and it'll look nice. Well, the red is drying, but before I get him in some hot water to pull the arms off to do the blue, I'm just going to do his gold belt buckle here. It's a good use of time while I'm waiting for all this other stuff. We're getting ready to paint the darker blue, and you can see that I ground these down. I've filed them down with my belt sander because they were really, really tight. Now I'm going to be honest, sometimes this works great and sometimes it doesn't quite, because what you're trying to do is create a little bit of space for the paint so the paint doesn't scrape when it's put in place. And sometimes it's worked really, really well, and sometimes it's hard to gauge exactly how much to grind down. I try not to take it down too much because I don't want it to damage the actual tool. It's supposed to be able to move. So hopefully this will be enough. I think it will be, but we'll find out together. This blue is just a Vallejo dark blue, and it is my favorite. It goes on really smoothly, really thinly, but it covers perfectly. So there's no need generally for a second coat. It goes on just so nice. I love this paint. I hate yellow paint, but I love this blue paint. And so we're just gonna go through and make sure we get all the details here. This will be the last step for the body. And then we'll do his hair, and I'm gonna add, I think, some brown wash to his face in a few spots to make him look older. He needs to look a little bit older, but other than that, I think we're good. We're gonna put him back together now. And one thing I noticed when I was putting these back in is that once they're in, they're actually quite loose. So I did a good job so that they shouldn't scrape which is awesome. So yeah, let's get the arms on. He's all put back together, and I'm just gonna take some brown, and I'm gonna add, I've got a very little on here, maybe not even enough, but oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. You don't need much to make somebody look old. You just want to add to the lines. So that's all I'm going to do. Just going to get whatever little is on the brush. I'm going to just add to the lines. You can see there that it'll make him look older, especially once we get up here into the forehead. That's what we want. This is an older Superman. And this is a great head because it's close to the original Action Comics 1000 head for Superman from the McFarlane line, but it's got different hair. But it is slightly different. But it's close. It looks like it's going to be him when he's old. So I'm very happy with this particular Kingdom Come Superman. All right, we're coming up on the end, which means we've got to add the gray hair. And what I'm going to do, this is too much. I was hoping to hit it a little bit lighter than this. But I'm going to add the gray, and then I'm going to add some white dry brush to it to make it so that it's got the right look. And this was the wrong brush to use. I should have used a finer brush, but I grabbed it because it was big and I didn't realize how. You can see how the bristles have started to pull apart. So this was the wrong brush, but it works just fine. It's fine. And if you get in this where you're like, hey, I need some more black in there, which is what I'm going to do, you can add a little bit of wash to it and it'll work. So that's what I'll do. I'll add some wash and then I'll add some white. That'll get me the look that I'm after. So I decided to do one more thing. The Kingdom Come Superman obviously has he has shorter hair, but he does have a bit of a curl. And so I've got this little piece of tentacle that I've cut off that will make a good little curl, not too much, but it'll set this guy apart. So I'm just painting it black, and I'm only painting it on the one side where it's not going to get glued, so that it can get glued nice. And so there we go. We'll glue this in place, and then we'll have to finish the white on the hair, and then I think we're going to be done. Now you can see that I put the wash in, and I could easily leave it here and it would look good, but I do want to put some white dry brush on. So I'm going to get some here. I want it to be a little bit more white on some of these edges. Add a little bit more character to things. So you can see there. Anyway, if I can get it in focus. There we go. So I'm going to go through and do that, and then we are going to be done with this Kingdom Come Superman. I got the curl glued in place with a little bit of fabric paint just to add some of the texture up top. Just going to paint it all black so it matches, and then we will be done. He's looking awesome. Man. Now there are a couple things I could do at this point, right? That you could do if you were making this figure. You could add some shade, a little bit of wash in the muscles if you wanted to, and then do a dry brushing of the blue over the top. You could do some dark blue shade like what I did with one of the shorts I did recently with the Lee Bermejo Superman. You could do any of that stuff and darken him up. At this point, for me, he always looks like he's just in fabric. Like that's sort of the Alex Ross paint way, is that he's just in fabric. It's not anything shiny. So I'm going to keep it this way, but just know you can do whatever you want. And that's the fun of this hobby. Like with the hair, right? It's like it didn't turn out to be quite like a curl like I kind of thought, but it does look like old man hair. Like his hair's thinned a little bit and it's just wisping back, just like it looked in Kingdom Come. So I really dig how this guy turned out. Have fun, make your own figures, be creative, experiment, take big swings, and know that sometimes they're not going to work out, but sometimes they will, and it'll look cool on the shelf. I'm Stephen Heumann. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.